See Accra House of Hope trying to find some space. Let's keep on seeing here. Got back and now you get a chance. Oh, once again it's Accra House of Hope with a chance, and they have made it too. And who is that? It is the 18-year-old Salim, the new DBS player.
So yeah, Sunday is the big day. We're looking forward to Accra Hearts of Oak playing and having a very good result in that first leg of games with that Athletic Club. Nuhu will tell us a lot about that Athletic Club, but by no means they're not a small side. They've won the Champions League twice, so they know what they're about. Won the Super Cup as well not long ago in 2017, 2018. So this is a very good side who are coming up against some of Widows men who have been training well. But yes, it's all up to what they do on the day. So we're going to have a little bit of analysis like we do before the big games, try to give you what you are supposed to expect on the day from both sides, from WAC and then from Accra Hearts of Oak. And I've got my friends joining me. Kofi Bolassie joins me from the Sports Consult. How's it going? Sports Consult, Kofi, and my latest lawyer in town, so I call him my lord.
Sports law class. Everything's going on well. Sports law class.
Yes.
We are getting ourselves into the markets, and very soon we hope to dominate the local scene and international in the future as well. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, sports law class, very important there, and as well. You have to make sure that you visit the website. It's PHOBIA News.
Yeah, PHOBIAnews.com.
PHOBIAnews.com.
We have all the updates, from the players, what they are saying ahead of the game, previews, players to watch out for from the wider Casablanca team. So there's a whole lot of packages for PHOBIAnews.com.
Important to get there on the PHOBIAnews.com. Nuhu Adams joins us, our African football expert, and once it's got to do with a game on the African continent, he's just the right guy to go to. Nuhu, how are you doing this afternoon? How are you doing?
Well, very fine here. We try to put one or two things together. I'm trying to see if I can make it to Accra for the game.
Yeah, okay, that'll be good. It'll be good to have you here. And I'm sure it'll be good to meet one or two of your Moroccan friends. Have you been calling them? Have you been speaking to any of them? What are they saying about the game?
Yeah, I started talking to them since the draw came out that it's possible I'm supposed to be playing against them. Yeah. And you know, Moroccans are too passionate and emotional about their team. So they believe we that have what it takes to overcome House of Oak. Yes, they have that respect for House of Oak, looking at the history of the club and the record in CAF Champions League. They have massive respect for House of Oak, but they believe, looking at their performances in the competition in the last 5 years, they have to overcome House of Oak because they feel House of Oak have inexperienced players as against who have been playing in the competition all these years. So they feel they have the better team, they have everything over House of Oak, and they have to make it to the group stages this time around too.
Okay. So let's start the preview. Let's get into it in detail. So let me start with you, Kofi. Kofi, let's try and help those who are worried about this player is there, this player is injured, this player is. I've seen a lot of that, and you know how Accra House of Oak fans can be. Every little news passing, any little news from the bed, can become a big matter. So let's try to tell them about the players who are likely to be available, and maybe let's start with those who are not going to be available. I've been at training grounds over 5 times, so anybody says Awako, I said, okay, anytime I meet anyone says Awako, I say, can you close the Awako chapter for now if we are focusing on the game? Kofi, let's go through the list of players that may not be part of this based on what you know from the camp.
Well, I believe that over the past few weeks or months, every Accra House of Oak fan is aware that Addo Jnr is hurt. He's on the sidelines, but he started training for about a week or two now, but he's not fit enough to play this game. We know that Aziz Nuruddin is also injured. He was not even registered for the tournament. So aside these two injuries, everyone is quite available for selection, except two players who may or may not be available for selection. And these are Emmanuel Neti and Caleb Amankwa. They were struggling with some injuries, but they've recovered. They started training around Tuesday, Monday. So we see if they can pass the lead fitness test, and then they can be part of the team. For Awako, like you said, every Hasbrook fan need to close that chapter for now. I mean, he's not going to partake in the game against Morocco, Wydad of Morocco on Sunday. Neither is he going to play the away game as well. So that chapter has to be closed. So every player is available for selection. The goalkeepers, Richard Atta, returning from national team duty, bringing with a lot of confidence. There's Richard Bedu, there's Aye there, in the defense as well. There's Mohamed Al-Hassan, there's Robert Addo, there's Caleb Amankwa, who I've spoken about, may be fit for the game. There's Radio Voka, Fatah Mohammed, Larry in midfield, there's Salim Adams. The new boy, which I hope was not registered for the competition. Yeah. So unfortunately, not available. Fantastic midfielder he is. There's Frederick Atabuchi, Salifu Ibrahim, Banier, Kofi Koji, Isubontain, Ejini Mbwati. All the players that across football are available for selection. So there's not too much worry, except for Caleb Amankwa, and then Emmanuel Neti. But I believe that they will pass
They pass the fitness test.
They've been training. Emmanuel Neti, for example, has been playing.
Yeah, he's been playing.
Or the 11 aside that they do in training. So I believe that he'll pass the fitness test. So not a lot of injury concerns for the Phobians, at least going from what we know over the last month.
Excellent. And just to top it up, after this one is uploaded, there will be a video of the final training session. So you could see with your eyes what Kofi is talking about, the final training of the team. I think there'll still be one or two shake-ups. There'll be a few walks by the team. And I think they'll get to do some work as well at the Crassport Stadium before the game goes on. It's been an interesting period for the team, as they go up to this one. Kofi, you're making a point. Can you unmute, Kofi?
Yeah, so I was saying that there isn't too much injury concern for the Phobians. Everyone is available. And on a lighter note, when everyone is available like that, there are no excuses for the team, for the fans, or anybody who sympathizes with the team. You just have to do the job.
So let's start from this point. I would like to define the problem before we look at the solutions. So, let's see if we can define how WAC play and where they could possibly be a problem for Accra Hearts-Book. And then we'll look at what Accra Hearts-Book have got and how Samuel Gwedu and Hamza will be able to read the game from there. So let's start with you. I know that, yes, in 2017, 2018, they've been coming at it again. But am I right to say they have not been too good per their own standards, perhaps in the last 3 years?
It's very wrong to say that, because I think the last 3 editions of the CAF Champions League, they've been to the semi-finals. That's Wydad Athletic Club. 2016, they were semi-finalists. 2017, finalists, which they won. It was only 2018 when they got eliminated in the quarterfinal. But since then, 2019, 2020, 2021, it has been semi-finals for Wydad. So that has been their standard. It's either they are in the finals or they are in the last 4 of the competition. So that's what they believe is their standard. So they are coming into this game, coming for a win, because they believe they have the quality and everything. They are, as I was saying, with that, having problems with some players who are not available for the game. They have 3 key players who have been very persistent in the league for them, but they were not registered, so they can't play against us on Sunday. That's Guy Benza, Duval Chumu, and then Tala Dawadi. They are also having some injuries in the team, about 6 players who are injured. Tahab Mourid, Amin Abdul Fat, Sufian Katach, Reda Jad. But if you look at the team traveling to Accra for the game against us, I think they have the core still around. They have their first choice goalkeeper, Ahmed Tagmawati. They have Ashraf Dari, one of the best defenders in Africa. Chief Kumara. They have Atiyat Allah, Yahya, and all the other players. So they are coming in for a win. That's what they believe in. They believe they have a quality more than Hansel, or they have one stage to get a win against Hansel on Sunday. So they are coming all attacking. They are going with their 4-3-3 formation. They have the Tanzanian national team player, someone Happy Golo Nsuwa leading the attack. Then they have Suhail El Mutaraj on the left, and then probably Mohamed El Afi, who is also a national team player for Libya, on the right. They have Badi Aouk and all the other players too on the bench who can also come in and do it for them. So it's all about how Hasbrook will approach the game. Probably that will be affected in the middle, because I believe, looking at the players who are not available for Hasbrook, the coach will have to do makeshift in the midfield. There are some players who are forwards who might end up playing in midfield because they don't have Weda Jadi and then Sutuaka catch available. I think Ayub Stuma, Hamza Asri will be in there to fill the gap in the midfield. So the midfield probably will be weak, or will be weaker than what we've seen them playing in the season. So this is how they are going to approach. They were very, very unfortunate for them. They don't have their head coach and assistant coach also come, because they both tested positive for COVID. So the new person or whoever will be at the bench will have different ideas and different instructions. Even though they will be in contact with the head coach, but once he's on the bench, probably one or two things might change from what the head coach would have done if he was available for the game. So this quite the information I have about that athletic club. But looking at their training and the report I've been reading, they are coming in to play 4-3-3, which is an attacking game. And I know House of Folk are aware of this, and they will also try and neutralize the system and get the necessary win.
Right, Kofi. So yeah, I mean, clearly defined. The team that plays in and out of the semi-finals of the Champions League have won it. Super Cup. They've been playing at the top level, and definitely it means that in terms of quality, there is the golfing class. No matter how you look at it, and Kofi, when teams are that good, the quality, the cohesion, how tight and close they are is almost always difficult to beat them unless they have a bad day. There are so many things that may come to play. Kofi, what do you think will be the right approach? I mean, with the sport that we have, what will be the right approach to try and, in a bit, slow down the machine of Wydad Athletic Club?
Well, from the little that I've watched and from the little also that I've gathered from the African football expert Nuhu, I think that Wydad are not exactly an attacking force in terms of how they want to play or dominate the game, like how Boyd wants his side to dominate the game. They are not necessarily like that, but they are disciplined when they are defending. They play with a starting formation of 4-3-3, and when they are defending, they have a 4-1-4-1 shape in midfield. So there's one person, a single person sitting in front of the defense with four other midfielders in front of you, and the striker starts as well. So that is how they set up when they want to defend. And when they are attacking, they pretty much play like Samuel Boyd. The three forwards get inside, so they play as inside forwards. That's the right forward and the left forward, with the central forward as well. And then they are fullbacks, maroon forward, to make it a 5 in terms of their line or numbers up front, with a 3 in midfield and then 2 at the defense. So it's a 2-3-5 for them when they are attacking. When they are defending, it's a 4-1-4-1 for them. So it's a very difficult task for Samuel Boyd. One, because the system of play is quite the same. In terms of the principle that both teams will apply, the players will apply on the field, is very much the same. So that is where I am afraid that it comes to individual quality. And if Hasselhoff will want anything from this game, it will be down to the individual quality of the players, what they have to do, because the principles are very much the same. I am thinking that I'm expecting that is going to cancel it out in terms of what each team will want to do. So it will boil down to individual brilliance. Maybe Kofi Koji can come out with some individual brilliance from something, maybe from a set piece or from long range, as he does. Remember the goal that he scored versus Dreams FC. If Free Barnier will give us what he did at the latter part of last season, or if Isaac Mensah will step up, or if Salif Ibrahim will deliver that magical pass that we know him of. He delivers 1 or 2 in about 5 or 10 games. So it's not really that consistent. But at all times, we Hasselhoff will need that kind of pass or that kind of magical pass from him. So it's about how the individuals will respond to the kind of challenge that they give to Hasselhoff. For their approach, like I've said, they play very much like Accra Hasselhoff. Accra Hasselhoff also set up in a 4-3-3, or sometimes a 4-1-2-1-2, or sometimes a 4-4-2. And you know that at Accra Hasselhoff, they allow the fullbacks to provide width for the team. That's in Ovoka and then in Fatau as well. So they have to be very wary of that kind of going for it, because when they are counter-attacking, they look very dangerous. And that's why I say that they are not exactly the team that we want to dominate in terms of possession. They set up in a 4-1-4-1 defending shape, and when they are counter-attacking, they are very quick on the ball. And that's what I saw in the few games that I watched by that. So we'll have to be careful. Maybe you want Samuel Boadu to be conservative a bit, maybe allow only one fullback to attack at a time, or maybe you want him to throw win to the caution or caution to the win, and then allow everybody to attack and get the goals, because we know it's very difficult to get the results in North Africa. Very, very, very difficult. But it is also very, very possible to beat the North African side. The last time a Ghanaian club beat the North African side was when Kotoko beat the Etoile side by 2-0. And it was a game that they could have scored more. So, yes, North African teams are good. The record is clear. What Nuhu has said, they are almost like a constant semi-finalist in the competition, in the CAF Champions League or in the Confederations Cup. But they are beatable. They've always shown that they are beatable. Chelsea did it. Kotoko has done it. Mediama also did it, beating North African sides. And Hasselhoff themselves have a rich history in terms of facing the North African side. So as to how Boadu should set up, I'm torn between him being conservative and going all out, because it depends on what he wants to go and do and why that. If you are going to Morocco, are you going to sit back and defend? If that is the case, then you need all the goals in the game on Sunday. If you want to go all out in Morocco as well, then you would want to be a bit conservative in Sunday's game. So that will be up to Samuel Boadu to decide, because he's getting the money. He has to earn the money on Sunday. So that's up to him to decide. But for me, they are beatable if the individual brilliance, like I've mentioned, will come to play as we saw in the latter part of last season and against Kamsa last month. Then I believe that Hasselhoff can carry out the victory. Now, the margin will be very important. The margin of victory will be very important, because 1-0 against the side like Wydad Casablanca will be very difficult for Hasselhoff to overturn. I mean, not overturn, but in terms of going to Morocco. I saw the away game against Kara in Togo. That's the Togolese champions. And the Togolese champions are nowhere near the quality of the North African. But they were they were not able to beat them, and they lost in that game, even though they played very, very well. So it tells you that playing away games in the CAF competitions are very difficult, even for those who dominate. For teams like Wydad Casablanca that they dominate, they are not able to dominate away games as much as they do in the home games. So if you are Hasselhoff, if you are someone with the approach is yours, you have to decide what approach you want to do, whether you are conservative or whether you go all out attacking, and whether you will be conservative there or whether you go all out attacking there. So that's for Samuel Boadu to decide. But for the possibilities, I think that it's very clear that Hasselhoff can beat them. The margin, I cannot tell, but it has to be a good margin, because that game in Morocco is almost as if it's against Accra Hasselhoff. And so we have to do the job on Sunday. And I believe that Samuel Boadu has the men. If they can exhibit the individual brilliance in them. Because I know that the system is good, while that system is also equally good. So we're down to what Daniel Efie, Kofi Koji, Isaac Mensah, Salifu Ibrahim, it's down to what they can do. Can Fatal get in those deliveries? Can he get it right? Can Uvoka take on players as he does in the local league? Or that will contribute to whether or not Hasselhoff can get a reasonable victory. And by reasonable, I mean something around 2-0, 3-0.
Well, Nuhu, I just wanted to remind us again, what has the away record of WAC looked like? I mean, in recent seasons, when they have traveled, for instance, into the west of Africa or the east of Africa, when they've had to come down, what kind of record have they got there?
Yeah, with that, as Kofi said, don't normally win at away. But if you look at their last 10 or 15 away games, it is always difficult for the teams to overcome them easily. They've been playing Mamelodi Sundowns in recent times, and all Mamelodi Sundowns can get over without 1-0, 2-1. Even in most of the games, it has been drawn. They've been coming to Guinea to play Horoya easy, and we know Horoya have that sort of quality. But still, with that, try as much as possible to get at least a draw from Guinea. Last season, against Kaizer Chiefs, they were a bit unlucky. That's why they got eliminated in the semi-finals. It was 1-0 for Kaizer Chiefs at home, and then Kaizer Chiefs getting a draw at away. But what Kaizer Chiefs did was that they defended the entire game with their goalkeeper making a lot of saves. With that, had about 45 shots and couldn't get one at the back of the net. So yeah, you can decide to defend, but you have to look at the quality you have before you can defend in the entire game, before you can get at least a draw, a victory over that athletic club. So they are a side that are very, very difficult to break. Not even the El Alis, the Esperance Sportive de Tunis, the ESATIV, and the big teams wish to play with that athletic club. But they are beatable when you believe in yourself that, yes, we are also capable of making it to the group stages of the CAF Champions. But what I want Samodu to tell the boys is that everybody is aware that we are underdogs. Just go and enjoy the game. Take any pressure out from yourself. Don't put any pressure on yourself. The moment pressure comes in, then you become so anxious. That's when you start to commit unnecessary errors, and then Wydad will take advantage of it. Looking at the Wydad team, as I know, with Fatau and Radio Vuka as fullbacks, they will have to be very, very cautious going forward, because they have very good wingers. Ayman El Hassouni on the left, Mouaïd El Afi, Obadi Awouk, any of them playing, the spaces you leave behind you as a left or right back means that your team is going to attack most times. Then if we that are able to get more of the attacking, it means they are going to get the results they want. So somebody will be thinking about what sort of game he has to play against Wydad on Sunday. If I'm him, as I said, just tell the boys they should go and enjoy themselves. If Hasselhoff loses, I don't think anybody will blame Hasselhoff too much or will bash the players for losing against one of the best sides in Africa. So that pressure should off the team. Let them go enjoy the game. If they get the win, yes, they go. But if there's they fail to get a win or they fail to get a very good scoreline, they will still have the belief that going to Morocco, they are still going to enjoy themselves. And whatever happens, they still have the opportunity to win the Ghana Premier League again, and then represent Ghana once again in the CAF Champions, the World Cup Confederation Cup.
Yeah, of course. So there's another thing that we have to clear to them, that whatever the situation after the two legs, Hasselhoff is playing in either the CAF Confederations Cup or the CAF Champions League. So that is not bad. there'll still be Africa to be played. So let me come to you, Kofi. And now let's look at it. And I want to put you in the position of Samuel Gwedu now. So you know that without have great defense, they've got the quality. How are you going to start with your team? I mean, in terms of personnel, are we going to see pretty much the same what we saw in the first leg, or you would be forced to make some changes? What are you going to do, Kofi? Let's look at your probable starting lineup, and then you tell us why you're going with any of the players, Kofi.
Okay, so I will go with, obviously, Richard Atta. Of course, he's gained some experience with the Black Stars over the double-header victories that he chopped just this week. He's been keeping the post for the club throughout their treble-winning season as well, and then a game against Kamsa. So I don't think that any coach or any manager would want to make any change there. In the centre-back position, I think Mohamed Al-Hassan and Robert Addo should keep their position. They've been very solid. They complement each other, especially Robert Addo. Both of them can play out from the back. And Mo Hassan, especially with his passing from the back, very, very important to Samuel Gwedu's system, because he doesn't like the route one system. He likes to play from the back. So Mohamed Al-Hassan contributes very much to that kind of system. On right back, Fatal Mohamed will have to keep his place. There's no doubt about it. And Ovoka as well. William Dinchi and Larry have not offered too much competition to both players. They are very good substitutes as well, but they've not offered enough competition for them to oust both of them from that back line. So the back five for me should remain the same as it was against Kamsa.
Okay.
Now, the DM position is where I would want Samuel Gwedu to change. I've spoken about the fitness level of Caleb Amankwa, but in my opinion, whether or not he was fit, I was going to change him. That's if I was the one supposed to do the starting lineup or to choose the game. Because he has a lot of erratic passing. He's a very good tackler, not very good in terms of midfield tackling, but in terms of when he's playing as a defender, whether in central defense or at the right back position. But in midfield, the tackling that he does is very, very dangerous, very last-ditch tackles, most of which could end up in a red card or a yellow card as well. That puts a lot of pressure on him in very early members of the game. So I would not start Caleb because of his passing and then tackling as well. I will start Salim. Salim is calm, composed. He can pass very well as well, and he can defend. He has the height, and he has a shot. He has an eye for goal as well. You saw that goal that he scored against Kamsa outside the 18-yard box. Yeah. So I will put him in front of my defense. Yes, the coach has an issue with his awareness, I've been told from my snippets at the training ground. But I believe that he can overcome that if he's being talked to in the right way. He can overcome that kind of lack of awareness that he shows in some games. But overall, his ability to earn him a place at the DM. Okay, then his other two central midfielders, I will go in for Frederick Ansapuchi and then Salifu Ibrahim. So that will be a more attacking lineup for me with two interior midfielders, one on the right, one on the left, in Salifu Ibrahim and Ansapuchi. Ansapuchi carries the ball so well and at times can find you a very good pass that splits the defense. Salifu also passes very well, but I've not been impressed with how he has been playing at the very latter part of the season, and then the game against Kamsa, as well as the friendlies that the club partook in, especially before the Kamsa game. And in the Kamsa game as well, he was very disappointing. His passing was very bad. He couldn't tackle too much. He didn't influence the game as we knew him to be, because immediately he came to Accra, he started influencing games. He started creating chances for other teammates like Ifeanyi Bani. That connection was superb, and that was what actually helped them to win the league. But he's not been able to replicate that form. Okay, so in spite of all that I have said about Salifu Ibrahim, I still think that he should maintain his place.
He should stay in there. Yeah.
Yeah, he should still stay in there. He might come up with something. I've mentioned individual brilliance in my previous submission, and these are some of the players who can pop up with that kind of play. So I think I'll keep him there. Up front, I will go with Kofi Koji because of his bulky nature. Can play with his back to goal. He can hold up play very well. He's a threat from set pieces as well. So that is why I'm going for Kofi Koji up front. Then I'll have Ifuye Banya around him. And Isubonting. I would want Isubonting because of how he takes on players. Very tricky player.
Is another lovely guy to watch. It's another
excellent
very good player.
I hope that it goes in. The coach's preference for the front three, the training ground, and in some of the friendly games that they play has been Kofi Koji, Isaac Mensah, and Ifuye Banya. But I would disagree with him with Isaac Mensah. He sometimes looks very sluggish. He's a very talented player. He needs time to establish himself as a starter at Accra Atufo. He looks like sometimes he's not interested in the game. Sometimes, yes, you have to give it to him, but it's just because it's just a matter of his body language. But I don't get that vibe from him that he's put himself in the game as well. So I will go for Isubonting or Ejenim Boateng, because we saw Ejenim Boateng. We saw them when they came on against Kamsa. They were able to take on players. They were able to create some fouls and all that. They are very tricky. And you need some of those things. And I keep on repeating individual brilliance. And if you have a player like Isubonting, he can just take on 3, 4, 5 players. Unexpected, not part of your preparations, anything. And then you get a goal from it. So that would be my lineup if I were Samuel Guido. I think that this lineup should be able to get something against, why that at the Accra Sports Stadium. Nuhu has confirmed that they are not really a top side when it comes to away games in the Champions League. They do their job at home. So if you want to stand any chance of upsetting them at home, you also have to do their job. And when they are doing the job, they are scoring 4-5. So if you also want to do their job at your home ground, you should be scoring around the same number of goals. So I believe that this is a lineup that should threaten them, just to push them behind, put them on the back foot, and then get some goals against them. Let me also say this, that it's not a must win for Accra. The quality difference, the gulf of quality in terms of what Wydad will bring on board and what has to bring on board is quite too wide and really unfair for them to play. Save that, yes, we can beat them at home, but if we are being realistic, it's not a must-win game. It's not a game that Accra should win on paper, because the difference is quite clear. If they are able to manage something, that's fine. But if Wydad are able to knock them out, that's their level, and they have to understand that. They have to keep building everything. Yes, you have to be building. You have to be buying. You have to be buying quality.
Yes,
if you want to compete at that level, so they should understand that they can beat Wydad here. But if they aren't able to do that, it's not something. It's not a do or die affair. They'll have to go to the Confederations Cup. Probably that's where the level of Accra support is at the moment, because you've been absent from Africa for only God knows how long. So for me, that should be my lineup, and I think that it should be able to do the job.
Okay, able to do the job. All right. Sowah is just joining us, but yeah, Sowah that's joined us. But indeed, let me. No, we have to go through. Well, your probable lineup. Your probable lineup is also very important, especially for Wydad. What do you think they are going to do? Yes, and then what we are just take from Sowah, he's feeling ahead of the game and all of that. James Sowah has joined us. No, let's go through your lineup. What do you expect Wydad to do, especially with the number of absentees and all of that?
Yeah, we are not going to see too many changes in the starting lineup. They'll still have their first choice goalkeeper in the post, Ahmed Reda Tagnauti, starting. The right back is always going to be El Amlut, and he's going to start again on Sunday. The left back is Yahya Atiat Allah, who has been very, very consistent at that position for Wydad. Yeah, as I was saying, Ahmed Reda Tagnauti is going to start in post. The right back is Ayub El Amlut. The left back is Yahya Atiat Allah. The central defense will have a Morian defender, Sheikh Ibrahim Kumara, playing alongside Ashraf Dari. Ashraf Dari has been one of the very performing players in the CAF Champions League.
Okay. Since we're having slight problems with Nuhu's line, we'll see if we can get back. Oh, Nuhu is back. Nuhu, continue. You are right back.
Yeah, the right back. It has always been Ayub El Amloud, and he is going to start again on Sunday. The left back is Yahya Atiat Allah, one of the very consistent players for Wydad Athletic Club in the last 2-3 seasons. At central defense, Sheikh Ibrahim Kumara from Ivory Coast is going to play. Then Ashraf Dari, who at this moment is the priceless asset for Wydad Athletic Club. Bordeaux and some French League One teams came wanting to sign him during the summer, but their offer was way below the price set on Ashraf Dari. Wydad Athletic Club says their price for the centre back is 3.5 million euros. So it should tell you the kind of quality that player is possessing. In midfield, he's going to have very experienced and captain of the Morocco local team, Yahya Dabran. He is probably going to play alongside Ayman El Hassouni and then Ayub Skuma. Then in attack, we'll have Zuhair El Mutaraji on the left, Muaid El Afi on the right, and then Tanzania national team player Simon Hapigod Nsuva leading the attack for Wydad Athletic Club. Looking at the kind of injuries they are having, the midfield will change a bit, but I believe Ayub Skuma, if he is fit, will start. Then Ayman El Hassouni will join Yahya Dabran. If not, probably Badi Aouk or Hamza Ashriu, one of them will also start in midfield for Wydad Athletic Club, looking at the injuries.
Right, good. That's the starting lineup there. Let's say hello to Felix Romark, who joined us at the tail end of this. That's all good. Felix, how are you doing? Good. We can't see your video, but we are sure you are fine. We are trusting you are fine.
It's because I want to have a consistent connectivity, so I had to put the video up.
All right, okay, that's good. What are your top 3 worries going into this game against WAC, just as we wrap up?
My first worry will have to be that there's let's say dormancy, in the sense that since the last time we played Kamsa to this game on Sunday, it's been weeks, and I was thinking that if you take the Champions League, for instance, it should be in 2 weeks when the next round of games come up, and I think that game's not coming quickly for Hearts of Folk might be a problem. You know, we are playing in a competition where there is no league football. You see other teams that are playing in the CAF and the CAF Champions League and the Confederation Cup. They've had their domestic season ongoing, or probably they are playing cup games. But in Ghana, it's just friendly games that is going on for the clubs that want to get ready for the season, or crowds of folk who are playing in Africa and they want to get active with some number of games. Apart from that, I think that the match fitness and readiness that I would expect that Hearts of Folk will have going to this game is not there. So that will surely be my major worry. But aside that, another worry is that we are playing against a Moroccan team that have experience, a Moroccan team that have a lot of their players playing for the national team. Another worry, which is my third worry, will have to be the 2,000 spectators and how Accra Hearts of Folk had to, increase the price of ticketing just so they can make up the numbers that will be in attendance. I feel that CAF should have given probably 50% capacity on Accra Sports Stadium, and then it means that with that 50%, Accra Hearts of Folk will have to splash the ticket prices. But now you are getting the cheapest price for a ticket at 70 cedis, and that is too expensive for a normal fan of Accra Hearts of Folk to buy. But if you also want to support your club in this particular competition or in their African adventure, it means that you have to pay more, and paying more means that you are paying for ticket prices at a very high cost, especially when you need to adhere to COVID restrictions from CAF.
James, can you hear me? James Sowah.
Yeah, George, I can hear you loud and clear.
Good. It's good to have you. I just asked Felix about his 3 worries ahead of the game. What are your 3 worries ahead of the game?
As Felix rightly said, I think my biggest worry or challenge is the fact that it's only 2,000 spectators that will be admitted at Accra on Sunday. Yes, we know the game against Kamsa, it was behind closed doors or in an empty stadium. But the fact that we are playing against the Moroccan side, that we know when you play them at their backyard, they have the antics, they have the other means of making sure that they beat you, not fair, but squarely. I think Accra Hearts of Oak would have benefited much more from having more than 2,000 spectators behind them. And then with this one, I know specifically attention or priority will be given to senior members of state when it comes to Ghana. So we won't have the extra voice that we needed, like the chapter O singing on top of their voice to all these Moroccans. So it's a big challenge for Accra to folk, but I hope they are ready for the challenge and they will be able to use an imaginary spectatorship to be able to scale ahead of these Moroccans. And then the other point, the fact that Accra folk, they've not had any major friendlies or warm-up game ahead to this encounter. Yes, before they played Kamsa, they played some high-profile friendlies, which gave us an impression of what we should expect on the game day. But this time around, they've not really played any friendly game that will help us understand the system that Wedu is going to display on Sunday. So those are my two major challenges. But I hope Accra Hearts of Oak, that I know they'll be able to bring out their best on Sunday, because first leg is at Accra Sports Stadium. And this North Africans, you are always a goal or two behind if you play the first leg or your home turf before going there. So it's going to be a very, very, very cagey game, and I hope Accra Hearts of Oak are able to do the needful.
Well, yes, thank you very much, James. So we'll go around and do predictions and then we'll wrap it up. In fact, to make the point about the friendlies, I thought the club tried hard to get friendlies. I mean, the Asek Mimosa friendly wasn't possible because Asek was pulled out of it. Then there was another one that was arranged at Ashgrove, and then the place to play was a problem because there was going to be a World Cup qualifier at the Accra Sports Stadium. NSA went out to be responsible on that. And I think in the end, they played against the GDA at the Accra Sports Stadium. They won by 6-1 or so on that process. So they have tried their best to see how it goes. The circumstances have not quite favor them in that respect. So let me just take your predictions there. Now, this is going to be really, really hot because I know that this is like David and Goliath, if you think about it really well. With Accra Hearts will be Goliath, and with Accra Hearts will be David, and with that being Goliath, of course, in this one. A win will be absolutely sensational. I mean, a proper win will be absolutely sensational. A 3-0 scoreline or a 4-1 scoreline or a 4-0, it will be absolutely sensational, but we're not too sure where we're going. Let's see what we do with the predictions. Nuhu, what are you? What does your head tell you?
It's going to be an interesting game. I think 2-2 is quite possible on Sunday.
2-2. This result. Yeah. Felix, what's your prediction? Nuhu says 2-2.
Well, George, I want to go with a 3-0 for Accra Hearts of Oak.
3-0 for Accra Hearts of Oak. That will be absolutely emphatic. That will be emphatic, really emphatic. James, Sowah, scoreline.
Well, if I am to predict with my heart, I think I'll go for 5-0 for Accra Hearts of Oak. That means I'm bringing back the nostalgia of the 64 battalions. But, yes, but I think with the current Accra Hearts of Oak that we have, they are good on scoring. They hardly concede. So I want a 2-goal cushion ahead of the second leg, maybe a 2-0 win or a 3-1 win. And I think Accra Hearts of Oak is capable of beating WAC of Morocco 3-0 win convincingly at Accra Sports Stadium to finish the tie.
Kofi, what can you see there?
I believe that with all the analysis that I have made and others have also made, I think that it's a 2-0 victory for Accra Hearts of Oak.
2-0.
Yes, a 2-0 victory for Accra Hearts of Oak.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, Kofi, we are not going to see you at the stadium. You have some work to do. So you do that work, but you're watching the game definitely. Felix, James, are you going to be at the stadium?
Yeah, George, I'll be at the game.
Okay,
James, I'll do a bit of commentary. So.
Oh, okay, okay. So James and Felix are going to be at the stadium, right?
Sure.
Perfect. We'll see you there then. No one has told us the condition about coming or not, so we'll see how it all goes.
George, yes, before
Felix, yes,
before you go,
yeah.
Before you go, I'm sure you post this before Sunday game. I just want to let the fans know that tickets have started selling. You know, they went on sale this afternoon, so they can go to the secretariat, the stadium, and some few golf filling station, and then Star Life Assurance head office and get some tickets, starting at 70 cities to 300 cities.
Yeah, and people are not shying away from the 70 cities and 300 cities. They want to get their tickets. So thank you very much, Nuhu. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, Felix. And of course to Kofi Bolassie. Always head on to GhanaPremierLeagueLive.com, GhanaLeaguesLive.com. Romark, do you have anything for us? I mean, in terms of preview to this game on the website?
Not at all. I think we've done a lot of previews here.
Okay.
We are thinking about doing a space to do a preview and see what the fans are expecting. So maybe a few of that folk fans here, yourself, George, might join the space later and we see how the game should go. But I'm just hoping that we win. That's all I want to see.
All right, guys, thank you so much. We're definitely back after the game to do the tactical analysis and find out how the team went, how it goes. And for now, we can say all the best to Accra Hearts of Oak on this one. Take care of yourselves and be good.